Alright guys, we got kind of a busy afternoon planned here. I'm going to try to start the oil pump. So we got to get the truck started. I move it over into my little stone turnaround thingamabob. Start draining all 8 gallons out of it and then pull the pan and see what we got. Well, it moved. Let it warm up a little bit, get that oil nice and warm. That way it'll come out a little quicker. And then we'll get started on our job here. Boy, I didn't want that one coming out. Golly. They must not have used that one for oil changes. There it goes. Don't drop the plug. Golly, what's it go to the other side? There's no water in it. That's a good sign. Boy, I don't think he was lying. This thing might actually hold 8 gallons. That ain't slowing down. So anyways, things did not go as planned. All the bolts were accessible on this thing, and there's like 34 of them, except for these front ones. I used that, it's like 6-inch thick, or 6 inches wide piece of channel for the cross member, and it comes to like right here. So it just covers up the bolts and you can barely see through there. So I got the rest of them out in like 5 minutes. These 4 here took me like an hour and a half. And then they put the pump, which is sitting over here in this, they put the pump at the very front of the engine. So that pump sits down in the pan like right in here. So even once I got the bolts off, you could drop the pan down, but you couldn't get it out because it wouldn't clear the pump. So I ended up having to like climb inside the pan and unbolt the pump with the pan still on. I loosened up the front motor mount and jacked up the front of the engine and got like an extra ½ inch or so, but it wasn't enough to sneak that out of there. So it should be fun putting this all back together. At least hopefully by then the oil stops dripping off the bottom of the engine. This is what your pump looks like. The new pump I got is slightly different. This is a gear pump, and I think the other one is still considered a gear pump, but it doesn't have 2 gears. It's got 1 gear, and it's got like a swash plate that follows it around. They did redesign the pump, so I guess that's the new design. So hopefully this fixes all that ails us. Got the new pump. Can't remember if I went into details on this story, but the new pump is right here. Looks like the only thing I have to do is swap over that 1 gear onto there. This is actually the second pump I got. It's a fairly heavy piece of aluminum, you know, with steel gears. This is what they sent the first one in. It's a thin cardboard envelope. I don't know why they thought it would be a good idea to throw a $200 heavy aluminum pump into a cardboard box like this, but you can just, like, looking inside of it, you can see all the holes that are poked in it. It was actually 2 days late, and I was trying to figure out what happened. I'm pretty sure this tape that's on the bottom here, I'm pretty sure that the post office added that, so I'm fairly certain that this is what showed up at the next location, and there was no pump inside of it. So then they had to, like, go back and look for the pump and figure out, you know, where that was supposed to go, and then, you know, the two had to re-meet each other, and they put it back inside of there and taped it up as best they could. And it did come in a bag from the post office with a "we're sorry, but screw you" type of note, which was awesome. You know, we care, blah blah blah, but crap happens. So this was the first one. There's really, I mean, considering how it came from Florida, it really wasn't that damaged. It still spins just fine, but the corners, like that one there, is a little beat up. That corner there has a pretty good chunk out of it. You can see the corners of that flange there are a little bit beat up. So I just didn't, you know, I spent $200 on it. You gotta drop the pan. It's like $130 worth of oil, you know, and it's a pain in the butt. So I was not about to put this pump in there after all that. So I contacted them, and they're like, give us a few days to open up a claim, and I was like, I really don't have the time for that. So they shipped me out a new one. So they were, I don't know who I bought this from, but someplace on eBay. They were really, really good about it. They shipped it right out. It was here. They shipped it out on Friday, and it showed up Monday. So I was happy with that. So the pan, that's what sucks about buying an engine, is they're usually sitting on a pallet or sitting on the oil pan, so you can't see the pan. And it wasn't until I got this in the truck that I realized it's corroded pretty much through right here, and then it's got a lot of pitting on this side of the pan. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise that we had to kind of remove all this. I took this, I was going to have it welded up, and they said that it's too thin, and they don't know what other materials are mixed in with this aluminum, you know, because they could have, I don't know what they do, but anyways, they said there's a good chance if they tried to weld that in, it would just blow through and create more issues. So I'm going to epoxy it. I got the putty, and I'm just going to smear that crap in there, and then we'll sand it down. And I got some cat yellow paint, so we can repaint this, and hopefully that'll keep it from corroding like that again and dumping all 8 gallons. I'm just still shocked at all that crap that's up in the idle gear bearing area. The one in the bottom is the actual hole that supplies oil to that bearing. Those other 2 dark spots are all just crap. So I'm wondering if that was part of our problem. All right, so you gotta start out saying, all right, so we got a bunch of work done. don't know if you can see that oil pan is back on. We got the new pump in. I didn't film any of it because I'm a terrible person, but I said about 3 times I should grab the camera and film some of this. But we also got the bumper on, so we're gonna fire it up and take it for a drive. Hopefully it has oil pressure. Hopefully it starts and has oil pressure. So the only gauge we do have is an oil pressure gauge, so let's give her a shot. Not looking good. Oh, I didn't plug it in. 60 at idle. Heck yeah, let's go.
I think that fixed it.
Yeah, it fired up and didn't die, so yeah.
Buckle up for safety.
I gotta put an indicator on this so I can tell what yours did. Up the hill or down the hill? Yeah, it's probably a safer bet going up the hill. Yeah. Good anyway.
plug that hole.
Yeah, I worked on it the other day. That'll be tomorrow project.
Otherwise, it's not terrible loud.
Yeah. I gotta work on an exhaust too, like start running it back.
Yeah. It's a little fumey.
A little bit.